Welcome to News9 Mediaverse, and you are watching On Point with me. We are going to talk about the attack on the Enforcement Directorate officers in the state of West Bengal. We will try and understand why chief ministers and top opposition leaders not cooperating with the Enforcement Directorate on the corruption issues. Why are they defying the summons? Arvind Kejriwal, Hemant Soren and Tejaswi Yadav have of late refused to meet the ED officers. But let me first tell you what happened on Friday morning when officers were attacked. This is what happened. You look at those visuals. This is what happened. They were brutally attacked. They were brutally attacked by the crowd. Their vehicles were vandalized. They were taken to hospital. I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't know why people will just come out automatically and start attacking the ED officers. These are the visuals from the ground zero. So many people came out. Why did they come out? How did they organize themselves? These are the officers of the Enforcement Directorate. And that is how brutally they were attacked. There has to be a probe as to why, how the time of their travel was leaked. How did the crowd organize itself to identify who the ED officers were? How could they identify them by their car? What prompted people, the constituents, to come out and attack them? There is nothing called spontaneous violence. There's a book by Paul Brass, should be read by everyone. You keep the pot boiling and you organize it when you want to. So now let me take you through some data. What happened there? What is this case about? And let me play those graphics for you. Basically, this is about the scam which took place between 2011 and 2021. ED team was attacked in North 24 Pargana. This is how the car was smashed. Vehicles vandalized by the crowd. ED is investigating Ration Distribution scam. Injured taken to the hospital. Officers were in very bad shape. PDS ration diverted to open market in West Bengal. People say that it was almost to the tune of 30%. ED team was raiding TMC leader who was a close associate of the one who now finds himself behind the bar, Jyotipriya Malik. So he was not a small person, and neither the guy who is behind the bar is a small person. Before I introduce my guests in the studio and those who join me from outside, let me play out three important bites, one of Bharatiya Janata Party, one of Congress and one of TMC on this issue.
It is a clear case that a person who is not getting any relief from High Court, from lower court, for his involvement in Sharab Ghotala is now being bribed by Aam Aadmi Party so that perhaps he does not open his mouth about the role of Arvind Kejriwal, who's the kingpin of this entire scam. So this is a reward and award being given, a bribe being given to Mr. Sanjay Singh that please do not tell us the secrets about Arvind Kejriwal's involvement in the corruption scam. And perhaps also the kind of misdemeanor and behavior Sanjay Singh has shown in Rajya Sabha, climbing on the table, trying to scuffle up with the marshals, and the kind of hooliganism he has done. Perhaps it is a reward for the anarchy that he has also done inside Parliament, because of which he may be rewarded by the Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Kejriwal must tell us, why is he rewarding Sanjay Singh, who is not getting any relief from High Court?
चंदसकली में जो हुआ है, सेंट्रल इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसी का जो ऑफिसर लोग और उनका साथ जो सेंट्रल फोर्स था, वो बुरी तरह प्रोवोक कर रहा था, इंस्टिगेट कर रहा था लोकल पीपल को. इसलिए लोकल पीपल रिटेलिएट किया स्पॉन्टेनियसली. असली बात यह है, पूरा देश अभी पूरी तरह थक गया ईडी सीबीआई का ड्रामा देखते देखते. ये दिल्ली द्वारा परिचालित, दिल्ली द्वारा मॉनिटर्ड एंड इंजीनियर जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन का नाम में जो तमाशा चल रहा है पूरा देश में अपोजिशन के खिलाफ, स्पेशली हमारा पश्चिम बंगाल में तृणमूल कांग्रेस के खिलाफ डेली बेसिस में जो ये बिग कॉन्स्पिरेसी चल रहा है, जो पूरा देश में अपोजिशन के खिलाफ चल रहा है, ये देखते देखते पूरा देश का आदमी थक गया। उल्टी दूसरी तरफ आप देखिए, जो बंदा यहाँ पर ये सब स्टफ को सोशल मीडिया में पोस्ट कर रहा है, उसको पूरा कैमरा के सामने पैसा लेते हुए देखा गया। उसका पूरा फैमिली मेंबर्स के खिलाफ करप्शन का आरोप है, लेकिन उनका कोई टच नहीं करता है, उनके खिलाफ कोई कार्रवाई नहीं करता है लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन शुभेंदु अधिकारी, क्योंकि वो बीजेपी से बिलोंग करते हैं। और तृणमूल कांग्रेस जो जीरो टॉलरेंस टू करप्शन सिर्फ बोलता नहीं है, करके दिखाता है। बीजेपी का हिम्मत नहीं है कि ये बोल के दिखाए, करके दिखाए, क्योंकि उनको मालूम है उनका मेजोरिटी लीडर्स जो है वो करप्ट है।
सत्तारूढ़ पार्टी के गुंडों ने, दरिंदों ने जो हमला बोला है आज ईडी के ऑफिसरों के खिलाफ, इसमें ये जगजाहिर होते हैं कि बंगाल में कानून और व्यवस्था की हाल कितना बुरा होते जा रहे हैं। मैं तो ये कहना चाहते हैं कि अगर ईडी इतना इडियट कब से हुआ पता नहीं, उनको सारे फौजों को साथ में लेकर चलना चाहिए। आज तो जख्म हुए, अगले तारीख खून भी हो सकते, तो इसके लिए सतर्कता बरतते हुए ईडी वालों को और ज्यादा फौज को शामिल करते हुए किसी के खिलाफ दावोज करना या किसी को हिरासत में लेना, कोई संपत्तियों को बरामद करना, जो भी कदम उठाए साथ में भारी भरकम सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस को लेना चाहिए। ये मैं जरूर कहना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि बंगाल में ये सारे आदी है। आज जख्मी हुए हैं, कल ईडी वाले अगर खत्म हो जाए, खून हो जाए, तो हमें, मुझ जैसे लोगों के लिए ये अचरज की बात नहीं होगी।
Obviously, when it comes to Mr. Chaudhary, he has an axe to grind against Mamata Banerjee, so that's the state position. In studio, I'm joined by my input editor Brijesh Pandey. I'm joined by legal editor of News9 Live, Ashok Bagaria. I'm also joined by Dr. Vikram Singh, former DGP Uttar Pradesh, and Siddharth Sharma, spokesperson, Aam Aadmi Party. A very warm welcome to all of you. But I'll straight away go to Dr. Vikram Singh, sir. The attack which took place on the officers of the Enforcement Directorate, if officers are going to be hounded and beaten like this, I'm interested, then which agency will be able to function properly in this country? And that too cases which are related to open and shut cases of corruption.
Mr. Kartikeya, good afternoon. Good afternoon, gentlemen. This is just not acceptable. We have seen such disturbances in the past also, when the goons of a particular political party tried to attack in the name of Halla Bol, and wanted to ransack the Allahabad High Court, but the High Court came down heavily like a ton of bricks and also ensured the suspension of the then IG of Allahabad, now Prayagraj. Something akin happened in the Supreme Court when a top politician of Bihar wanted to overawe the Supreme Court by show of brute force of this mob mentality. Now, this, I would say, I have three recommendations. That Section 65 of the PMLA Act, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, clearly says that wherever there is not a provision, all provisions of the CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code, shall apply. Therefore, I would say the bailable warrant should be translated into non-bailable and arrest should be procured from the court. And this kind of fishing that say that this is political vendetta is not acceptable. Everything is under judicial scrutiny. If you have any doubts or reservations, please approach the court. The fact of the matter is that you have not got any relief from any court, and not cooperating with the investigating agency does not do good to you. You have sworn by the Constitution of India when you took oath of office, and it is also part of your duty and constitutional responsibility to have ensured that this jolly well be ensured. Any complaint against any ED official or any CBI officials, go to the director, you don't go there. Go to the court, you don't go to the court. But make sweeping generalizations. Political vendetta, देश थक चुका है. देश नहीं, सारी जनता देख रही. Everybody is watching you. Your careless and cavalier and irresponsible attitude. And I would strongly recommend the next line of action. action under 332 of the Indian Penal Code, attack on a public servant on duty. And I would also say, I know that the host state perhaps will not invoke the provisions of the National Security Act. But under these circumstances, the most drastic action in the arsenal of the law enforcement, I would say National Security Act, 332 IPC, and everybody then. And you very rightly said, mobs don't descend from heaven. Mobs are collected and they are in the payroll of those political masters, whether it was Allahabad, whether it was Delhi, in the times of when somebody tried to overhaul the Honorable Supreme Court. And in this case, go to the social media, go to one of the informers, and go to one of those who will turn approvers, and they'll tell you who got what and what were the compulsions of overwhelming and trying to overwhelm the ED. I feel sorry for the ED official who was brutalized in this manner. But yes, I would strongly recommend if 332 IPC is registered and faithful investigation is done, all the ringleaders are behind this criminal conspiracy will be taken to task, including those who stand to gain by overawing and trying to belittle the authority of the enforcement directorate.
Okay, very well said. But if you look at the car, it's not an official car. It doesn't have a red light. It means someone, Brijesh, has given away the car.
Well, I think, when once the ED goes there to raid, they are also accompanied by central paramilitary officers and, by Jawans to provide security to them. So, for a mob or for a particular person to judge whether ED officers are traveling in this particular car is not that difficult. People know once an officer's cars enter along with security paraphernalia, people go, people understand. And what we have been given to understand is that the ED team went there, they went to investigate Shah Jahan Sheikh, and, they made several calls, nobody opened the door, then they tried to get inside the house. That is where the mob started to emerge, and they started targeting, first they targeted ED officers, then they also did not spare the media personals who were covering. Yes. Nobody was, who was not the local, was severely taken to task, badly beaten, and those cars are vandalized. It definitely doesn't augur well for the law and order, on the law and order front of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, because this law and order is a state subject, and the fact that that somebody who has gone there with a central protection, as well as CRPF and other police force along with them, if they can be dealt so severely and in a brute fashion, then what to say of the normal person?
Okay, Brijesh, tell me, what is our legal position, the legal problem does it put Mamata Banerjee in it? Because Enforcement Directorate is an agency which is part of the central government. They are operating in the state. They have gone there, the programs, it's all out there. Does it create what sort of a legal problem does it create now?
Well, technically, Kartikeya, if you look at it, there's no legal problem to it, except for the fact that ED officers who are under the control of the central government have been attacked by some local people in that particular area of West Bengal. Now, the best thing what can be made out here is a case. ED will have to file a case, an FIR at the local police station to say that they are public servants, they were prevented by a mob from completing their duties, and if anybody's got hurt, their properties were vandalized, destruction of public property, and hurt, simple or grievous hurt, as the case may have been made out, will have to be filed by the Enforcement Directorate. The whole point saying that this was wrong, etc., it carries no resonance, in the sense until and unless the Enforcement Directorate files an FIR at the local police station. But the catch here is, Kartikeya, that when you file an FIR, that FIR will be investigated by the local police, which is directly under the control of the West Bengal government. So, a best case that can be made out here is to file an FIR, wait for a few months, then the ED should approach the High Court and say that we're not getting a fair investigation, and the investigation should be transferred to CBI or a central agency.
Okay, wonderful. This is just for a guess that I am also joined by Suresh Kochal, senior journalist, and Siddharth Sharma, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, continues to be with us. Gentlemen, time for a short break. I'll be back.
Ram's Ayodhya rebuilt. Ram Lala's Pran Pratishtha. Countdown to January 22nd. Dateline Ayodhya. Catch the mega coverage only on News9 Live.
So the ED officers were on Friday morning on 24th North Pargana were attacked. Now on this debate, I am joined by Siddharth Sharma, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, and Suresh Kostal, senior journalist. First to Suresh, your opening comments on ED officers being attacked brutally by the mob, and when they had the required protection.
No, as you said earlier, there was a giveaway, obviously.
I think we have lost his voice. But I have lost his voice. But before I go to Suresh, let me play out those bites again of people who have staked in the game here.
Bengal, as you know, 5 or 6 ministers in jail because of laundering of fund, at least now. And that is going on. It's most corrupt government there is there. So because of that, these cases are there. Because of that, they are, when inquiry is there criminals and goons are attacking the ED. That should not be done. It should be inquired properly and they should get protection of the government, because government machinery, ED, they are going for inquiry. Even court's orders are there. So in that situation, they should give in all protection and the inquiry should be complete.
संदेश खाली में शाहजहां शेख के वहाँ पे जिस तरीके से ईडी के अफसर के ऊपर प्रेस के ऊपर जो हमला हुआ है, वो दिखाता है कि बंगाल में रोहिंग्या मुस्लिम जो है उनको घुस के बंगाल की पूरी लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को क्या कर चुके हैं। और ये जो ईडी के साथ हो रहा है, ये सिर्फ ईडी के साथ नहीं हो रहा है, ये अपना बंगालियों का फ्यूचर दिखा रहा है। बंगालियों के साथ भी ऐसे आगे आने वाले समय में होने वाला है। अगर ये सरकार तो कुछ नहीं करेगी, ये सरकार अगर रहेगी और भी तेजी से ऐसी चीजें होती रहेगी।
Okay, now let me open up this debate. One part of the debate is what has happened in West Bengal is obviously wrong. No one has criticized it. You cannot hurt, attack, push, touch, or prevent a public servant from discharging his duties. It's part of the rule book. You just cannot do that. The political fallout Mamata Banerjee will have to face. But let me tell you the bigger picture, the national picture. The bigger in the national picture is that ED and CBI have taken the center stage. Land for Jobs case involves Lalu Yadav's family, Tejashwi Yadav. IRCTC case also involves Lalu Yadav's family. National Herald case involves the Gandhi family. Bikaner land case involves Robert Vadra. Delhi excise policy case involves the Aam Aadmi Party. These are all CBI ED cases. KCR daughter Kavita questioned thrice by Enforcement Directorate. Thrice. TMC under scanner in coal and teachers recruitment scam. Mahua Mitra quizzed by CBI in cash for query case. Baghel mired in Chhattisgarh Mahadev betting app case looked in by who? ED. Hemant Soren under scanner on illegal mining case. And there have been ED raids today in 2 states. One is in Maharashtra and another is in Haryana. So now the larger part of the debate is, I mean to say, the gamut 100% is about the opposition leaders.
Well, absolutely. Kartikeya, there is no doubt about it. And, I mean, if you go by the start of 2023, there was a reply which was filed by MOS Home, in which it clearly stated about the success rate of the Enforcement Directorate, and also about, who all under the scanner. I mean, if I'm not getting into the cases where, there is a proper chain of events and opposition leaders are questioning. But how on earth can it happen, Kartikeya, that only people who are sitting in opposition parties, they are the one who are culprit, and nobody in the government side is culprit, or there is any ED raid whatsoever being conducted on them. It's just unimaginable.
But the larger issue is that there are people who are not cooperating with the agencies also.
See,
I need to I just need to involve Siddharth Sharma. Mr. Sharma, you are there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. There is another aspect of it. Yes, as Brijesh said, every leader in the list is from the opposition. Correct. I agree with Brijesh. But then, Mr. Kejriwal, Mr. Tejasvi Yadav, Hemant Soren, they have not cooperated with the ED. They have refused to share their time in citing reasons of prior engagements. That's not correct.
Okay, Kartikeya, let me answer that, because when you question this, this is a three-dimensional question which will have to be answered in three dimensions. There is a constitutional angle to it, there is a legal angle to it, and also there is a political angle to it. I hope I'm given just around 90 to 100 seconds to complete my thing. Point number one, Arvind Kejriwal, just like the ED, is also constitutionally bound. He is a public servant doing a constitutionally mandated duty. Now, you cannot obstruct that person also from discharging his duty. Okay. The point here is that Arvind Kejriwal has said that being a constitutional figure, he is sworn to the office, so he will cooperate provided they are asked on the record. It's as simple as that. And the proof of the pudding here is that last time when the CBI called him with a questionnaire, he answered with all the 56 questions. So that is the legal aspect of it. Now, the second one is that was the constitutional aspect of it. The second one is the legal aspect. Let me at the outset, because this program is the theme of this program, instigation, violence, coercion, intimidation, any of these things are not acceptable in any civilized society. One of the senior police officers before me was also speaking. So this is a BJP giving an ultimatum to Karnataka Chief Minister that they will involve themselves, they will resort to violence if Mr. Siddaramaiah, the Karnataka Chief Minister, does not listen to him. So does it behave well of the BJP? No. That's why I'm saying wherever violence occurs, there is a context to it which can be unraveled only by a thorough investigation which involves forensics also. So it cannot happen through me or you or sitting in this studio. Now, coming to the political aspect, whenever somebody gets elected, there is a way to deal with constitutional authorities. If you remember, the then Gujarat Chief Minister was denied visa by the United States of America. But that same person, when he became the Prime Minister of India, he was accorded all the protocols and the respect that he deserved. Now, when BJP takes these privileges from America, isn't it also true of the BJP that it should extend the same courtesy to others? Isn't it true? Because we have to understand, when you are going to whenever you are investigating a public servant, not just a public servant, a constitutionally elected person, he has got a vote from the people. He has got a mandate. Now,
Mr. mandate I completely agree with you. You know, you have very finely put out your argument. But the fact is that the three people who hold constitutional offices have refused to go and meet them. I mean, say, I think in a month's time, 2 months' time, 3 months.
I just want to add something to what the spokesperson for the Aam Aadmi Party pointed out. He's rightly pointed out that these are constitutional authorities. But sir, don't you think that the constitutional authorities should also be discharging the constitutional duties when an investigating agency is calling them for a probe? Is it not a part of their constitutional duty, or everything that they do is politics? Please respond, sir. Yeah.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think I've answered that in my earlier segment when at the cost of repetition, I'm saying the Delhi Chief Minister, let us also understand that the Delhi Chief Minister, before becoming the Chief Minister of Delhi, he was also an IRS officer. He is a UPSC pass out. He also knows the law, like most of us sitting in the studios here, and definitely more than the BJP people sitting in the parliament like Mr. Brijbhushan Saran Singh. Anyway, puns aside, what he has done is that at the cost of repetition, I am saying, whenever a specific questionnaire has been asked to him by the CBI, he has answered all those 56 questions. So that is why, that is what exactly he is asking the ED this time, that send me a questionnaire, ask me the questions, because let just 10 seconds. The ED just day before yesterday in Tamil Nadu summoned people, farmers who are having 450 rupees with them for their cattle trespassing into some other's field. So Arvind Kejriwal is basically asking the ED, why are you calling me? Did my cattle trespass somewhere else? You will have to give me the context, right? When you call me, Kartikeya, when you call me to this debate, half an hour before the debate starts, isn't it true that one of your people from your channel called me and said that at 3 p.m. Siddharth bhai, this is the show and this is the subject and this is the anchor, please come prepared. So am I supposed to come prepared for your show? That is what the question is. Arvind Kejriwal, just like the ED is discharging its duty, Arvind Kejriwal is also discharging his constitutional duty.
Arvind Kejriwal it's not about Arvind Kejriwal also, let me be very precise. It's
about
also about
everybody.
Hemant Soren, it's also about Tejasvi Yadav. The debate is not Mr. Kejriwal centric, the debate is about three important people.
I'm an party spokesperson.
Yes, you can talk about, absolutely. So there is no difference. See, you can defend, your job is to defend Arvind Kejriwal, that's okay.
Yes.
My job is to question you, and that's also okay.
Absolutely.
And that's also okay. Suresh, am I audible to you?
Yes, absolutely.
The whole issue is, yes, it's, whatever has happened in West Bengal, everyone has seen. But my question is that one deputy chief minister and 2 chief ministers are not complying with or not cooperating with enforcement directorate to say an investigating agency. It's a piquant situation.
Well, let me ask, it's a very simple question in case of Arvind Kejriwal. 2 of the deputies are already in jail. Obviously, the money trail indicates that they took money. The judge himself said there is more than adequate proof. They went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court refused to give Manish Sisodia bail, which means there is a very strong case of money trail of 300 or 400 crores, whatever is being alleged. Obviously, Manish Sisodia didn't keep this money at home. He didn't keep it in his pocket or in his house or in his private locker. That money has gone somewhere. The question is where. So obviously, who is the person after Manish Sisodia? Obviously, would be Arvind Kejriwal. All he has to do is come there. He's like a small kid who's saying, I'll come to the exam if you give me the question papers before. You can't do that. Then it loses all its sanctity. He being a former IRS officer knows exactly when the income tax rate happens. How do the income tax do? They don't come, don't give you a prepared questionnaire and say, come on, answer all these questions. Obviously, he has to answer, why is Manish Sisodia in jail? If there's a vendetta against Manish Sisodia, does it mean the Supreme Court also has a vendetta? Does it mean the Delhi High Court also has a vendetta? Does he say that the courts who remanded him in the first place at the junior level, they also have a vendetta? There is a question being asked. You answer the question. That is obviously when you're avoiding, that means you're scared of something. You're scared of some question which might pop.
Mr. Kostev, if you ask me, it's an issue of propriety. As a journalist, I am not a man of law, and neither I have practiced law. I think it's a matter of propriety. If there is, in propriety, the issues of propriety and morality, the bars are higher for people who are elected. They have to be highest for the people who are elected. So you continue to stay with me. Mr. Sharma, please stay with me. Dr. Vikram Singh, you please also continue to stay with me, because once I'm going to come back, we are going to discuss this issue. Is it political vendetta, or the opposition has decided that the best way to deal with ED is by not cooperating at all?
Ram's Ayodhya rebuilt. Ram Lala's Pran Pratishtha. Countdown to January 22nd. Dateline Ayodhya. Catch the mega coverage only on News9 Live.
Currently, the industry is facing a lot of challenges as far as demand is concerned. Basically, the US markets has slowed down because of high inflation.
So obviously, diamonds being a dream product, something which doesn't have a utility value or is seen as a luxury. So that obviously goes off your shopping list. That's the first item that will go off your shopping list, especially in recessionary trends.
That lab-grown diamonds are not mined, and they do away with the entire mining. So they save up on all the environmental damage that is associated with mining, and of course, the mining cost, which is why they're even more affordable.
people that is impacted by all these recessions are the artisans, are the people who work in this industry, right? But I think lab-grown diamond has allowed them to actually use their skills in the same product.
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
Yes, the scale of the attack surprised us.
When you get a series of alerts, 16 intelligence alerts, if Maharashtra government at that time had alerted the Coast Guard and the Navy, this 2611 would not have happened at all.
And one of the details they had planned was to use these dhagas to mislead the investigative agencies.
All this was to be presented as a Hindu terror. So it was a Pakistan operation. The LET was the front end.
As the attacks were on, it was clear that they were planned and launched from Pakistani territory.
For all of those victims of terror that was exported from Pakistan over the years, including but not limited to 2611.
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
So the matter has taken a serious turn in the context of West Bengal. The Chief Secretary has been summoned. Obviously, the governor of the state will ask for a report. If nothing happens from the office of the Chief Minister, the governor will come into the picture. But now the framing of the debate is that why are Chief Ministers not cooperating with the Enforcement Directorate? The other part of the argument, or the side of the argument, is that why is opposition only finding themselves in the radar of ED? Now let me go across to Dr. Vikram Singh. Dr. Singh, can any constitutional functionary say no and continue to give a miss to the summons of an investigating agency? कितना चल सकता है ऐसे?
बिल्कुल नहीं चल सकता है. Unless a person has suicidal tendencies, one would not even think of chopping as its own roots. There are escape routes, only one, that you go and approach the court. If you get relief, so be it, good for you. If you don't get relief, it is in your interest to hire the best lawyer, which you must have in any case. Not to go and respect the summons and not to go there and trying to one excuse or the other of not going to the ED, asking for interrogatory or a questionnaire or saying that you must inform me first. Sorry, this is not done. The investigating officer has certain discretionary powers and authority, and obviously he's not asking you to come over to discuss the weather or to a recipe of gajar ka halwa. He is there for a particular purpose, and you jolly well know why you are being summoned. And these red herrings and these digressions will not serve anybody's purpose. And the courts also will take a dim view of whatever has happened and what alibis you are trying to take and trying to digress and dilate the issues. It is not going to work, and therefore it is a moral and legal and constitutional duty to respect and abide by what is expected. Otherwise, they have the option of getting you a non-bailable warrant and make a bigger mess of you. Please don't take the door. The public has elected you to a very high pedestal, and therefore it is in your duty and in your interest also to respect the summons issued to you.
Okay, very well put. Now let me play out the bite of Arvind Kejriwal and two more leaders just to put this point across, that these cases, however the legal, however related to the hard pilfering of money be, are now bordering on the issue of the idea of political vendetta. And those who are involved in it are also trying to portray themselves that it's a conspiracy hatched by center to target them politically. Let me play out the bite of what the Chief Minister had to say.
बीजेपी का मकसद जांच करना तो है ही नहीं,
इनका मकसद तो लोकसभा चुनाव में मुझे प्रचार करने से रोकना है। ठीक लोकसभा चुनाव के पहले इन्होंने मुझे समन भेजा है। क्यों? इस जांच को चलते 2 साल हो गए, अभी ठीक लोकसभा चुनाव के पहले मुझे क्यों बुलाया जा रहा है? पहले क्यों नहीं बुलाया? सीबीआई ने मेरे को 8 महीने पहले बुलाया था, मैं सीबीआई में गया था, उनके सारे जवाब भी दिए थे। लेकिन अब ये लोग ठीक लोकसभा चुनाव के 2 महीने पहले मुझे बुला रहे हैं। तो बीजेपी का मकसद कोई पूछताछ करना थोड़ी है। इनका मकसद है पूछताछ के बहाने केजरीवाल को बुला लो और उसे गिरफ्तार कर लो, ताकि मैं लोकसभा चुनाव में प्रचार ना कर पाऊं। आज बीजेपी भ्रष्टाचारियों को नहीं पकड़ रही, बल्कि खुलेआम ईडी और सीबीआई का इस्तेमाल करके दूसरी पार्टियों के नेताओं को तोड़ के बीजेपी में शामिल करवाने का काम किया जा रहा है। 1 नहीं, 2 नहीं, कितने उदाहरण हैं जहां किसी पार्टी के नेता के खिलाफ ईडी सीबीआई के मामले चल रहे थे या उन पे गंभीर आरोप लगे हुए थे। जैसे ही वो नेता बीजेपी में शामिल हुए, उनके सारे पुराने मामले बंद कर दिए गए या ठंडे बस्ते में डाल दिए गए। तो जो इनकी पार्टी ज्वाइन कर लेता है, उसके सारे मामले रफा दफा कर दिए जाते हैं। जो इनकी पार्टी में नहीं जाता, वो जेल जाता है। आज मनीष सिसोदिया, संजय सिंह और विजय नायर इसलिए जेल में नहीं है कि उन्होंने भ्रष्टाचार किया है, वो इसलिए जेल में है क्योंकि उन्होंने बीजेपी में शामिल होने से इंकार कर दिया है। आज हम बीजेपी का मुकाबला क्यों कर पा रहे हैं? क्योंकि हमने कोई भ्रष्टाचार नहीं किया। अगर हमने जरा सा भी गलत काम किया होता तो दूसरे भ्रष्टाचारी नेताओं की तरह आज भी हम बीजेपी में शामिल हो चुके आज तो होते आज तक। इस तरह देश के ईमानदार नेताओं को जेल में डाल के और भ्रष्टाचारियों को अपनी पार्टी में शामिल करवा के ऐसे तो देश आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता।
देखिए, ईमानदारी के नाम पर राजनीति में आए और बेईमानी का रास्ता अपनाए, और मैं समझता हूं युवा पीढ़ी ने जो अपेक्षा उनसे की थी, आम आदमी पार्टी से अपेक्षा की थी, राजनीति का इतना विभत्स चेहरा सामने आएगा, जिनका उप मुख्यमंत्री, जिनके कई मंत्री अभी जेल में हैं, जिनके खिलाफ भ्रष्टाचार के ही मामले में जांच चल रही है, ईमानदारी का नाम लेकर के जितनी बेईमानी का करने का विश्व रिकॉर्ड बनाने का काम श्री अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनकी पार्टी और उनकी सरकार ने किया है, दूसरा कोई उदाहरण देश में नहीं मिलता।
Suresh, do you think it's going to cut ice with the electorate? That this is a case of vendetta? That this is all about cutting Kejriwal to size? Do you think that this is going to cut ice with the electorate?
Was the question to me?
Oh, yes, that's the question to you.
Hello.
Yes, my question is,
Yeah,
do you
I
think
basically Kejriwal is getting paranoid. You know, we can make out in his language. He's speaking about things. He's saying Manish Sisodia and Arun Ramchandran Pillai are not in jail because they're corrupt. They are in jail because they want to be kind of harassed by the BJP. The judge, if you see the remand in case of the denial of bail, has made it very clear that there is sufficient proof against Manish Sisodia. So what is Kejriwal trying to say? I think if you look at it, if we ask any psychologist about is the behavior of this person, he will tell you that he's paranoid, basically. He's trying to prove that he's the only honest guy in the entire earth. Nobody is there like him. The court is asking one simple question: where did the money go from Manish Sisodia to? Manish Sisodia obviously didn't keep everything in his pocket. He has given it to the party. Fine. Who in the party received that money? So there's a money trail. That money trail has to be proved, and that is what the investigation is all about. So they're asking Kejriwal, did you take the money from Manish Sisodia? Manish Sisodia's assistants have admitted that the money was received by him. So where did the money go? They spent it on the Goa elections, or did they spend it elsewhere? They obviously said that money was spent on the Goa elections, but beyond that, where did the money go? So the entire Delhi liquor scam, obviously, Kejriwal cannot say that Manish Sisodia is innocent or Arun Ramchandran Pillai is innocent. The court reminds them each time, and Supreme Court themselves have denied to hear this case, is obviously because there is a certain amount of proof that is available right now.
Okay. Mr. Sharma, your response to this?
Yeah, my response is very simple. BJP and its ecosystem has to understand that you cannot hunt with the hound and run with the hare at the same time. Law is a tool of justice to everyone. It cannot be weaponized selectively to hurt only your opponents. Everyone knows women harassment was done by a BJP MP. Where is the law for that? Everyone knows that the parliament attackers, whoever went inside the parliament 2 weeks ago, were given passes by the BJP MP. Where is law against them? Everyone knows that the farmers were run over by Minister of State's son. Who is behind bars for that? And as far as the excise scam in Delhi is concerned, this is the first scam in first complaint where neither there is a murder weapon, neither there is a body, nobody knows where it is, and the entire BJP ecosystem says that there is money trail. Where is the money? I'm going to a police station to complain for my money. Sir, I did not speak. I respected your age and did not intervene. Let me complete. That's why I said BJP ecosystem. I did not name you. You need not get spooked. Basically, what has essentially happened is that BJP is spooked by Arvind Kejriwal's model because Arvind Kejriwal delivers universal health care and universal education without resorting to any kind of polarization. That is BJP's compulsion. This model of Aam Aadmi Party and is spooking BJP to such an extent it is going to it is hell bent on trying to tarnish and harass not just Arvind Kejriwal personally, but the entire Aam Aadmi Party's delivery mechanism. It is as simple as that, and everyone knows. And the final point I'm trying to raise for the entire BJP's ecosystem. If you say somebody is in jail and that is why he is guilty, is the BJP saying that Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Mr. L.K. Advani, they were also in jail in this same country, they were also guilty? Is BJP ecosystem saying that the 8 people, Indian nationals today in Qatar who are in jail, they are also guilty? Obviously they are not. So that's what I'm saying. You cannot hunt with the hare and run with the hound at the same time. BJP cannot weaponize the law to selectively target your opposition. It's as simple as that, and everyone knows that now. I think most of the people, including me and my family members, subscribe to News9 on OTT on our telephones, and and it's a very popular channel. I think that the News9 viewer is intelligent enough to understand what I'm saying. It's purely political. Everyone knows that.
Mr. Kochtel?
I find it really funny because he's trying to compare a judge, a kind of court in Qatar, with the judicial system in India. He says that Atal Bihari Vajpayee was in jail and was he guilty? I am asking him to read the remarks of the judge. The remarks of the judge when the bail was denied was that there is sufficient proof.
Sir, bail was denied even to Mr. Bhagat Singh in India. Bail was denied to even Gandhi ji. Bail was denied even to Mr. Amit Shah. Bail was denied even to Mr. L.K. Advani. Bail was denied even to Mr. Vajpayee. That's why they were in jail.
Now you are interrupting me. Now you are interrupting me.
Do you mean to say that whoever is in jail is guilty? Then you yourself are saying all these people are guilty.
Last time you said don't interrupt.
I am calling them patriots. You are calling them guilty.
Mr. Sharma, last time you said that don't interrupt me. Now you are interrupting him.
Sorry. I take back.
My logic is very clear. My logic is Kejriwal considered himself holier than thou. He said, my party is so popular that people are scared. What happened in Gujarat? What happened in Madhya Pradesh? What happened in other states where Aam Aadmi Party contested? They gave the same promises. People there don't believe because they know how the Delhi model has worked. Everybody knows that. If you look at the documents of Mohalla clinics and the registration of doctors and the attendance of doctors, there's a big scam going on. Okay, I can draw the documents and send it to you if you want. That is not the point. The point here is can't compare a court in Qatar with the political case of Atal Bihari Vajpayee or Lal Krishna Advani, which was a different thing altogether. Here it is the money. Here there is the money involved, and that money the judge has said. I did not say. Nor did the government say. Nor did the ED say. The ED gave the proof to the judge and said, "Here is the proof." The judge went through and said, "Yes, there is the proof." Supreme Court also said, "Yes, we will not give bail to this gentleman." Obviously, there is the money there. Otherwise, why would he be in jail for so long? He'll be out on bail by now. Okay, he can hire the likes of Kapil Sibal or Abhishek Manu Singhvi or P. Chidambaram to bail him out. But the point is, don't try to be holier than thou and say, I am the only guy, honest guy. Baki sab chor hai. मैं अकेला एक आदमी हूँ, हमारा अकेला एक पार्टी है. In Punjab, the same parties arrested a Congress MLA again once he got out of bail from the jail. What does the party have to say to that? Okay, so you are doing the same thing which you are accusing the BJP of doing in Delhi. The same thing you're doing in Punjab. Okay, because you have power there, you are in power there. In Delhi, you cannot do that because the police doesn't come under you. So if the police comes under you, we would have arrested Amit Shah by right now. And this is what Kejriwal should say. Fine, if somebody is holding me guilty, fine, I'm ready to face the inquiry. And if the judge or somebody who kind of looks at the evidence gives me bail, so be it. He cannot claim that I am the most honest guy. Who gave him the certificate? It's a self-certification he's giving himself, saying I am the most honest guy. Baki sab chor hai. Anna Hazare chor hai, sab chor hai. And we know what Anna Hazare said about Arvind Kejriwal. What Arvind Kejriwal did with Anna Hazare, we all know that. At one time, this gentleman claimed everything was honest. My point is very simple. What are you scared
do
of?
to Anna Hazare?
What are you
Nothing.
scared of?
No, what did Arvind Kejriwal do to Anna Hazare? That needs to be clarified.
Yeah.
ये तो बताना पड़ेगा आपको. ये तो बताना पड़ेगा. सुरेश जी.
Kicked him out.
What did
That's
he do to
simple
Anna
as that.
Hazare?
And everybody knows what happened. Arvind Kejriwal rode on Anna Hazare's popularity, Anna Hazare's clean image. And once he got to the chair, once he got what he wanted, he simply kicked out the people who helped him get to the top. That is that man's culture. He's a paranoid character. Anybody, I'm saying.
That's your view. We don't. He's an elected chief minister.
He may be.
That's
he
your
may
view,
be,
sir.
but
We
he
don't
can't-
ascribe to this view. I don't use the word paranoid in words for any elected
I'm just saying, I'm not
member
saying
of
you- I'm not
Parliament,
asking you to
Assembly,
do it.
or the chief
Send his
minister, or the
videos,
governor.
send his videos to
I think Mr.
psychologists.
Sharma, Mr. Sharma wants to respond to it. Yes.
Yeah, it's not just a response. I think the BJP ecosystem spokesperson right now before me accepted that people we have to. And that's why my point was you cannot selectively weaponize your law. Now, as far as Delhi is concerned, Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. Arvind Kejriwal believes in democracy so much that if you recall, in the last few weeks, we have had a survey in Delhi asking people of Delhi, what should Arvind Kejriwal do if he is taken to jail? So now my point is Arvind Kejriwal is not afraid of jail. Bhagat Singh was not afraid of jail. Neither was Lal Krishna Advani afraid of jail. Neither was Atal Bihari Vajpayee afraid of jail. Basically, BJP's present breed of leadership rides on people like LK Advani, making them Margdarshak Mandals and not even calling them to temple consecration. Aam Aadmi Party doesn't believe in that. We are civilized people. And we believe in democracy so much that Arvind Kejriwal, everyone knows it was an open thing where we went door to door to Delhi, nearly 25 lakh homes out of the 38 lakh homes we reached out to. We asked people exactly the same thing, that Arvind Kejriwal, if he is put to jail, what should we do? So that is the kind of referendum, that is the kind of intelligent, professional and ethical politics that Aam Aadmi Party does. We are not afraid of jail. Nobody is afraid of jail. Bhagat Singh was not afraid of jail. People afraid of jail are Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, who are still sitting in the parliament. People like the Minister of State's son, who run over farmers and still going scot-free. People like Mr. Nirav Modi, people like Mr. Lalit Modi, who were supposed to be under ED scanner. They are today in sitting and making fun of India, tweeting New Year greeting.
But okay, fair enough, Mr. Sharma. Mr. Kaushal, I allowed this conversation to take place first because it was interesting and pretty engaging, But my actually debate was, and I was interested in listening to both of you, that how come Chief Minister say no to the investigative agency? The other side of the debate was that the violence which had taken place in West Bengal in run-up to the Lok Sabha election, Ashok, do you think that this element of being martyred by an investigating agency, will it going to cut ice with electorate when it comes to Tejaswi and Hemant Soren? Because Kejriwal is an exception here. Kejriwal is the exception here because he came on something very different, anti-corruption crusade. But neither Tejaswi nor Hemant Soren have come on these issues. Their parties have been mired, their parents have been mired in the issues of corruption. And both of them are dynasts.
Well,
unlike Kejriwal, who is like an outsider, cracking the bastard of the oldest ruling party and claiming what in politics a victor does, power.
Well, technically, if you look at Tejaswi Yadav or Hemant Soren, they also come from political families, as you rightly pointed out. Now, when they are being targeted, allegedly targeted, I'm not saying that they are clean. I don't want to give them a clean chit on the show. Investigation is going on. When investigation goes on, they have a right to not appear before an investigating agency.
Till what time, Ashok?
They do it at their own peril.
No.
They do it.
Can they continuously say no? We are not going to cooperate.
Yeah. If they continue,
can they get arrested for this?
Yes, they can. If you refuse to respond to summons that an investigating agency has been sending you for money laundering case, you can be arrested.
So why are they doing it?
See,
do they want to become martyrs?
Exactly. Now, there are two sides.
Because Manish Sisodia couldn't become a martyr. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Mr. Sisodia couldn't become a martyr.
There are two sides to this argument. Number one is the legal argument, where possibly the lawyers are advising the clients, the chief ministers, saying that, look, you can still avoid appearing before the ED until and unless the ED makes out a very strong case of money laundering. Here, there are only allegations. So, what ED is trying to do is trying to...
Let me stop you. Brijesh, what's the politics of this? One is the legal aspect, which Ashok has been saying. Is there a political aspect of this? मत जाइए उनके सामने अभी जरूरत नहीं है.
No,
जाएंगे तो गड़बड़ होगी.
The point is, I'll start with by answering your question when you said that Manish Sisodia couldn't become a martyr, was that it is all about timing. When Manish Sisodia was arrested, there was no election on the anvil. Right now, there's an election on the anvil. Next 2 months, we'll be discussing general elections. And if anything happens right now, the potential of a party to exploit that particular situation rises 100 times more. The second facet is that that there is a degree of I'm not getting into the merits and demerits of the cases, and I agree that when enforcement directorate or any other agency summons you, you have a moral obligation, you have a constitutional obligation to present yourself before it and answer all the questions which are put before you. But there is also an image crisis which the Enforcement Directorate and Central Bureau of Investigation is facing. Central Bureau of Investigation has long been called a cage parrot, and we know that that there was disparaging remarks and
less than the Chief Justice of India
said, and everybody knows that we all know, everybody who is sitting here knows how CBI has been misused and all. Enforcement Directorate of late has become the new CBI of the investigative agency, and there is initially it didn't cut much eyes, but now if you go by the gamut of cases, there is only opposition parties which are involved, so they can claim martyrdom out of this particular.
Suresh, are you there with me? Is it correct to say that this ED thing is a brainchild of Bharatiya Janata Party? Rules of ED, the draconian rules for ED were framed when UPA was in power, 2012. And then I think Chidambaram was the finance minister.
But the real legal power has been given by the Supreme Court
verdict.
Supreme Court verdicts give them bigger teeth. But the idea was conceived when the UPA was in power. BJP didn't create ED.
No, that's exactly the point. We were told that
you can always misuse it. You don't have to create it to misuse it.
But someone made ED.
But you don't have to create it to misuse it.
It's like saying that Brijesh, argument is that ED is a BJP's force creation. But BJP, my question to Suresh is that ED was created by UPA.
Exactly. My point is also very simple. Remember, whenever the ED cases come in, it is not like the Arafera cases. The people who involved are very, very powerful, and they can afford 5-star lawyers like Kapil Sibal or P. Chidambaram or Abhishek Manu Singhvi to argue for them, Dushyant Dave and others. And naturally, what happens? These lawyers often know the trick, how to kind of postpone these cases for eternity till something happens. And that is exactly why the conviction rates are low in ED's case. Yeah, I don't hold a brief for ED here. I'm not saying that ED is the be-all and end-all and they are the most honest organization in the world. There must be some political motive at the end of the day. But remember, when you take a person into custody, when you put a remand report, you tell the judge, here is the proof, here are the basic proof, here are the prima facie here, and tell us that this guy should be given bail, we oppose it. And what does the judge do? The judge looks at the basic evidence, prima facie, and says, yes, there is a proof in this. And then orders the investigation, orders the arrest of this person. Now, my question is very simple. In a country like ours, we all know tariq pe tariq goes on and on and on. And Enforcement Directorate is also not a kind of away from that. And obviously, the lawyers will ensure that their client, we all know, where did the JMM bribery case go? We all know where it ended. Okay. We all know what happened to the famous Jain Diary case. We all know what happened to various other cases. Where are their own Chidambaram himself? We all know. Where did his case go?
See, and obviously, Suresh, bottom line is, in India, the cases of corruption take their own long, merry time.
It's also not a case of corruption taking long time.
No, I would beg to differ from you. Cases in India take a long, merry time, and by the time it happens, the money, the power, everything gets utilized by the person who is at the center of it. Now, the bottom line here is, which is at the heart of my debate, that why should chief ministers not meet enforcement directorate officers? why Enforcement Directorate officers are being attacked. Now, if they are being attacked, there has to be a proper inquiry, and people who have attacked them should be brought to books. People who have organized it should be brought to books. And secondly, yes, it does fulfill a political antic, but I think chief ministers, elected representatives are like Caesar's wife. They should be above suspicion, and if they are being called for cooperating on a case of corruption by officers of any investigating agencies, I think it's given in a democratic setup like ours that they should and must cooperate. So this is all in the special edition of On Point with me. Thank you.
This was intended to be a terrorist spectacular without precedent.
The plan was to bomb 2 Air India passenger aircrafts simultaneously.
There was a loud explosion and the whole plane just vanished.